Britain Hart. Like of course, like I want my title shot. I only started focusing on Taylor because I think Britain had a fight coming up. But I only want to fight the person above me and the one person below me who keeps asking to fight me. Taylor's been talking. Taylor's been talking, but it's okay. It's okay. Like I like Taylor. I'm okay. I'm okay talking back too.
What's up, fight fans? Chris here, Combat Loop MMA. Today, I have a unique guest, a bare knuckle fighter ranked number 2 in the strawweight division, Dr. Sarah Sell. How you doing today, Dr.
I'm doing good. Thank you for having me. I'm really happy to be here, and yeah, thank you for reaching out.
Hey, no problem. We always love to give shine. And you have a unique story. I mean, it's not just you're a fighter, because that is a story in itself, but you're a doctor. You help others out. And we'd love to give the brand out. We talk about it all the time as helping you with your brand, but that brand is awesome. It's like you're a helper plus you're a herder. So you get 2 in 1. So it's an awesome experience.
Yeah, warrior and healer. That's how I see it, and it's very balancing. It's like yin and yang, and I learn things that from both sports and clinic that it just makes me the person who I am. So I love what I do in the ring and also in clinic as well. So I'm very blessed.
Yeah, it's, if you ever get to do that in life and get to love what you do, you never work a day in your life. It's always having fun. I tell my son all the time, you got to find something you enjoy because you never work a day in your life. Well, I would like to talk to you. How did you get into the fight game? It's a strange thing. We don't see too many doctors
Yeah,
inside the fight game. How did you get in?
I got into fighting so randomly. I didn't have any training. I worked at a nutrition store, and this was when I was. When I had my first fight, I was 20 years old, 21 years old. But I'm 38 now, so I've been fighting for 17, 18 years. So this is who I am. I love this. When you stay in it that long, it's because you love it. Yeah, I mean, I got into fighting so randomly. I didn't have any training. I overheard a manager talking on his phone in my nutrition store, and he was visibly upset. And come to talk a little bit further, he was upset because a female fighter pulled out. And it just fell in my lap. I was like, what? Like, females fight? Like, how is this thing? Like, how do I do it? And he's looking me up and down, and he's like, oh, you look pretty athletic. And it's like, I just ran on a treadmill. I trained for bikini competitions. I started training for bikini competitions like 3 months before, right? So I just started getting in the gym, and so this was the next level challenge. And I'm not scared to lose. I'm not scared to get made stupid. I'm someone who I love challenges, I went in fighting my very first time 12 days later. I accepted that fight, and 12 days later was zero training. I didn't have anything. All I did was run on the treadmill. I got an older brother. I'm tough. But sometimes you don't know if you want to do something until you get in there. And I think that was the best way for me to get in there because I loved it. I had never punched anyone before. I had never even hit pad or anything. And the second I cracked that lady, I felt like I was like, oh my gosh, like, because I'm not a violent person. I don't want to hurt anyone. Even to this day, I won't ever hurt anyone. But dang, when that punch connects, it's something else. And still to this day, when I connect my punch, because I got strong punches. I grew up playing competitive tennis, so like that snap in my shoulders. That's what I've been doing that my whole life. Yeah, I learned very quick my very first amateur fight that I got that power that is very unique in the women's division.
Yeah, it's got to be. That's a spontaneous nutrition store. It's like, hey, dude, that's a crazy ass story.
That's what I'm saying. It's just meant to be. It's meant to be. Like everything in my life is just I've just accepted doors that have just opened for me, and that's how you get to where you want to be.
I agree with you. If you're not trying new things and doing new things, you never know what you're going to be in life. And it's probably something you looked at like taken as a challenge. As a medical field, there's probably a lot of similarities to fighting. I mean, we talked about business with another guy the other day about how the similarities are. What are the big similarities for you in the medical field compared to the fight field?
You know what? It's different, but it complements. And I think one thing, as a doctor, it's something I always tell my everyone in my clinic is that we never take anything personally. People come in to see you and they're sick, and they don't want to see a doctor. And so any moodiness or attitude or anything, it's not about me. It's just about them. And I think that that's something that I think for any female in general, that's something that a lot of us we need to learn not to take anything personal. I think that translates very well into fighting because there's a lot of different, opinions and things going on, and just in life in general, you can't take things personal. So I've really learned that, running a business and really wanting to help people, it's not about me, it's about them. And so, that strength is really important for me in fighting as well too. But, also I just, when I'm a doctor, like I'm giving, like I'm just in the giving mood. Like I'm there to help people. I'm 1000% there to help people. And, that just makes me a stronger person. In anything in life, I'm just, it's, I love my job. I love my job. I honestly, like, I didn't think that I would love my job this much, like going through medical school. Sometimes you don't know where the end is going to happen, but, I'm very lucky with my job. And, yeah, it's just a mindset strength that carries onto fighting for me.
Yeah, it's crazy. You're now the number 2 in the division, man. It's like, someone for nothing to something crazy, and you're right on the cusp of like a belt. We were talking about getting a top 5 opponent and seeing where you're at. I mean, Bret Hart's right there, and she's an
Mhm.
awesome, awesome, awesome fighter, and that would be a challenge for anybody to go against her. She's a great, like I said, a great person. There's
Yep.
other people out there in the division. Now, you began that division and began the fight coming out of medical school and doing all these things. How are you kind of balancing that and being a mom too? Like, you got to balance all these things together. The mom thing's the thing that it throws me off, because I'm a dad, I'm a full-time father, and that's always my number one job. I tell you that all the time. Like, we always talk, I'm a number one, like, not always is my son, and then I
Yep.
got my other stuff that I do on it. How do you get to balance all that stuff together?
You know what? I get asked a lot, like how I balance things, and really, like, nothing comes overnight. Everything that I've done, I've intentionally added on, one by one by one. And, just as a female in fighting, even, at a young age when I first started, building my future, I constantly had people saying, why would you want to do this? Da da da, like, why, you can't do this. And then once you have kids, like, it's over. And so I've used a lot of those things that I've heard as my strength to say, okay, like, this is what happens in society, but, let me see if I could do it. And you don't know until you try. And I'm telling you, like, I had my 2 kids during medical school. I was in clinic and I was, pumping, so that I could bring the milk home and stuff. So it's just, that sounds impossible, but it's doable. And more women, like, we're having kids during medical school. We want to do these extra things. And so, if I can be an example for other women, like, it's not that hard. You got to be intentional. Like, it's hard. It's hard. But, the more things you add and the more intentional you are about it, it gets easier. And so for me, I know it looks really hard from, the outside looking in, but for me, it's just who I am. And I've just, yeah, there's nothing that is really, too much of a struggle right now. I'm looking to add things to my plate right now. I want to change the world. I want to show people what I'm doing in clinic. I want to help people. And yeah, I want to win that belt because, being the best fighter is something that is going to, raise my credibility and help people want to listen to me. There's a lot of doctors fighting and saying, they have the best information, but, what separates you? And, this is what separates me. I'm someone who, I live by integrity and hard work and good mindset, and I want to pass that on to people. And I just want to lead by example. That's how I live my life. I just want to be a good example.
Well, you're inspiring already, dude. I mean, I'm telling you, just to be able to do all that kind of work. I mean, being a father and me trying to do my stuff, I feel bad for myself. And then you're like, I did medical school and had kids during medical school. I'm like, oh shit, I have nothing to complain about. And that's how it kind of works in life. You kind of see other people and what they're doing, and then you're like, oh, I have nothing to complain about. So stop being a baby about stuff. Now, being
Mhm.
a woman and fighting is a different thing. I'm around a lot of ladies inside the gyms, and I see how it kind of goes. Are you always the only woman? Sometimes I see that a lot. You're always the only woman. And then how's the training for you when you go into those gyms? Are you whooping on the dudes' asses? Because I see that a lot when I was originally talking to you. I got my ass whooped by a lot of women in class.
Yeah, so you know what? I've been fighting for so long, and so, as a mom and a doctor, I've learned to, um, change my fighting into what best suits me. And so I have a very unique way of training. I don't go to classes. I have privates, and my coach will bring in teammates specifically for my privates. I also don't spar. I'll only get hit to the body. I don't get hit to the face until it's fight night.
Uh,
So, I've
Makes
I've
sense.
done I've done my hard sparring. I've had over, 20, amateur, I think, like 20 amateur MMA fights, a couple pro MMA fights, tons of Muay Thai fights. Like, I've been in the gym. Like, I don't need to test my jaw. I don't need to test my face. Like, I'm tough. Like, I will keep coming. I will walk through punches. I know that I'm tough. So, I'm at the point now where I'm saving my head. I do everything to preserve my brain. And I'm all about mindset, power, yeah, so I have a unique way of training that I've learned to switch up over the years, and yeah, it's just something that it just works best for me. I do everything my way is really how I do it, and I have a great coach who knows what my strengths and my weaknesses are, and so um yeah, I mean everything is really good in my life and how everything is set up. It's nothing's really overwhelming. It's just I've added things to my plate one by one, and yeah, I'm very lucky, very
You're going
grateful.
to be able to help fighters a lot because of the way that you train. Because when I was growing up, they would have real hard sparring classes. So we go in and you'd be killing each other, and you'd be
Yes.
half torn up going into a fight, and you're like you're not at your full potential. Learning from people like you, learning what you can do as far as brain recovery, and there's a lot that you can do. So I think as you grow, and if you can ever get to that position to be even more of a thought and be able to help others. I mean, it's kind of crazy what you can do. Tell me what your mindset is as you're walking to a ring. As Dr. Shell is walking to a ring, I want to know what's in that brain and what you're thinking about.
Oh, this is so funny. I'm like a little kid. When I'm walking out to the ring, I'm just excited. I'm excited to be there. I'm so calm. There's no nerves in me. I always say this as I got in it so uniquely. I just got thrown in there and I didn't have time to think about it. There's nothing I was trying to prove. I didn't even tell my family that I was fighting. I didn't even know it was on TV, my first fight. So it's like I just got thrown in there and I've never thought too much about it. It's just a fight is a fight and I'm not gonna die. I guess worst case scenario, you do die, but it's just like, I'm confident that I'm gonna be okay. And my husband's there. I got corners and stuff. So, worst case scenario, it's like if there's something that I can't handle, like I'm gonna be saved. But it's like the thing is like I train to handle everything,
Yeah.
mindset, physically. Um, and I always say like, mixed martial arts to me, there's no greater physical or mental challenge. And that's what I'm there for. I'm there to test myself, and I love being able to test myself against other strong women. Growing up, I never thought this would be a thing. I'm very competitive, and I want to be tested, but I never ever imagined that I'd have another female, lined up against me, and we're just going. And it's so yeah. When I walk out to a fight, I am calm. I am not nervous at all. Like I'm in my mind, I'm thinking about how I was born for this. That's a common thought that goes, in my head. Like, you were born for this. Like you're here for a reason. I have a lot more than confidence. I have conviction. I honestly believe like I'm following my path. I'm listening to my heart and I'm doing everything, with the best intention and where I should be. And one thing that's kind of funny is I also, I used to a lot more frequently, but I do bikini competitions. When I walk out to like the fitness bikini competitions for like NPC, like the bodybuilder shows, and I'm telling you, like when I walk out in a bikini competition, I am so nervous. I'm sweating. I'm sweating. My coach has to like pat me down. I'm like the only woman who's just like sweating. So it's like I'm out of my place when I'm in makeup and hair and a bikini and I got to pose and but that's why I love it because it's a challenge for him. Like I'm out of my comfort zone. It's like I know I belong because like I win them, right? But it's like inside is not my fun place. It's not my fun place for bikini, but for fighting, I love it. It's a different person. That's how I know it's my comfort zone. That's where I was meant to be.
Yeah, I can already feel it in you. You're like, that's where you want to be. That's where you love to be. You thrive in that little chaos.
Yes.
Now it's like, but when you're a mom like you are, when you come home, you're always a winner, and you already have won the game of life when you have those kids and you have those things to come home to. There's a lot to be thankful for every single day. I like to give a little bit back of the time for sponsorships, for help to tell people who's helped you get to those spots that you're into now. That's always a big thing for me is giving back. So help those people give back to them.
You know what? I've never accepted sponsors before for as long as my career. I mean, I've had people give me shorts and stuff as an amateur career, but once I became a doctor, I only want to support companies that I 1000% believe in. I've been in contact with Russia, so I'm gonna go out to Vegas and check out their stuff, but no, and I'm in no rush, and I want to support people and their clothing lines and things like that. But
Well, shout out your family and shout out the coaches then. That's what I
Okay,
like to
yeah,
hear
okay.
too.
So yeah, so yeah, I mean, shout out to my family. I mean, my family is really just my husband. My husband, my family is out of town, and my family is still, even after 17 years, they're not all gung ho about it. They only just watched my last fight. I think that's the very first fight my mom's ever seen. And she just watched it on TV. So, they're only starting to open it up, and they're like, okay, like, Sarah's a doctor now, she's got kids, like she's got her life in order, like, maybe this fighting isn't so bad because, it hasn't, because their whole fear when I started fighting was that it distracted me from, other goals and careers.
Yeah.
But I never had it in my mind to just do fighting. I've just fighting isn't just for me. I'm a very I have so many different goals that I just can't get from fighting alone. But yeah, my husband, I got to support my husband. My husband, it takes a lot to be with someone who's serious. Like, I'm really serious all the time. I'm a creature of habit. I just want to work out and be better all the time. And my husband understands that life. And I mean, it's just yeah,
I
my
don't think
husband.
he's talking back to you though. I don't think he's going to say nothing back to you. I'll be scared as shit to
No,
say anything back. Like,
he
no, Miss Sarah, no.
no, he'll put me in my place. He's not scared. He's a police officer, right? And
Oh shit.
yeah,
You guys have
he's
some
a police
scraps
officer, and
then.
we met on the same card. We fought on the same card back in like 2011. So, we've been married for 12, 13 years now. And he's a professional fighter as well too. He's just put his fighting aside for, he's had injuries and work and things like that, but he's actually got asked to fight for BKFC end of the year. So nothing in final yet, but it sounds like he'll be fighting in BKFC soon too. So that'll be cool to have both of us in there. But no, I mean, my rock is definitely my husband. And the coach that I have now, which I've had for all of my BKFC fights, is someone who I've never had a coach spend so much time on me. I think I got into fighting so fast that a lot of coaches were maybe hesitant to teach me because it looked like I already had experience and I knew what I was doing. But I really never had proper training, like, to up until BKFC. I really never had anyone own in on my skills. It was a lot of just raw natural talent. I'm an athlete, like I am an athlete. But when it comes to fighting skills, I never really had anyone own in on that, and my coach has been game changer. Like, this will be the coach that I have until the end of my career. And yeah, so Santiago from Pro Edge MMA. And yeah, it's great to have a good coach and a good husband in my corner. And
Yeah.
I'm simple. I don't need a ton of people in my corner. And you know what, my patients support me. I have a lot of good energy people in my life. Whether they understand fighting or not, people support me, and they know I'm a good person. And they know that I would be there for them. And so I have good people in my life.
That's great. Yeah, that's awesome. That's a big thing is the village that you create that's around you. Because if you have a great village, that's what I do with my son. I have a village around me because it just isn't always me. It's the people around me helping me become better and getting a better thing. Now, this is your time, girl. I want you to call out maybe two people that you want to have a fight with. We're going to get you in that top spot. Who are there? Are there two people that you're really looking at
I
that you want
I
to fight?
only have two people. I only have two people.
Who
Of
are
course.
they?
Of course, I want to fight in Britain Hart. Britain Hart. Like, of course, like, I want my title shot. I only started focusing on Taylor because I think Britain had a fight coming up. But I only want to fight the person above me and the one person below me, who keeps asking to fight me. Taylor's been talking. But it's okay. It's okay. Like, I like Taylor. I'm okay. I'm okay talking back too. When it comes down, when we have to fight, you don't get to bring your ego. It's like, you don't get to bring that ego with you when you fight. And that's as raw and real as you get when we have to fight. So I'm all for the performative talk and stuff like that. But when it comes down to it, it's there's no talk.
No. Once you walk in that ring, it's game on, girl. You
Exactly.
got
That's why
it's
it's
just
fun
you and
time.
the
It's
other
it's
opponent.
exactly, it's fun time, and win or lose, like, it doesn't freaking matter. Like, there's some there's some punches that you win, there's some exchanges that you lose. Like, that's how it goes, and it's just whoever gets the most, ends up winning in the end. And so I'm all for it. Like, I love this sport. I love competition. And yeah, so those are the two. I only want Britain Hart or Taylor Starling. And you know what? I would really like Taylor Starling. Taylor Starling, she has this thing out for me. I've never fought anyone who doesn't like me. So it's just like, for me, that's a little extra drive. And yeah, yeah, I got some things that I want to say. If I'm lined up to fight for Taylor Starling, I got some things that I want to say and I want to change. In BKFC and BKFC rules, where I had a little bit of an altercation with Taylor Starling's boyfriend, um, and yeah, I want to even that out.
Yeah, I'm all for it. I like it. I don't like bad blood. I like to get a fight, and I like to get that fight a little bit pumped up. I don't want to see
Exactly.
any crazy stuff, and I want everybody shaking hands at the end. But I want a little bit of talking. Why not? Why
Exactly,
can't we do it?
exactly, and there is no bad blood. I think people can make mistakes, and it doesn't make them a bad person entirely. But no, during one situation, I had a miscommunication with Taylor's boyfriend, and I think that's got her a little bit more agitated, and I mean I think her and I would be a really good match. There's definitely some energy for us to bring to the match there, and we're both really good fighters. But I'm supremely confident in all of my abilities against her.
Yeah, I think it'll be a hell of a match. I think you and Hart would be a great match, and
Yes.
either way you go to, it's going to be fun. Well, I
Yep.
definitely appreciate you taking your time. Definitely an awesome person, and I look forward to meeting you. Enjoy
Thank
the
you.
babies. That's the best
Thank
part of
you.
your life. Enjoy being a doctor, and I
Thank,
cannot wait to see you fight again. So I look
thank you. I
forward to it.
appreciate it. I really appreciate it. Thanks for taking the time. Thanks for talking to me and letting me share some of my story. And yeah, anytime I can always make myself available.
Well, hey, listen, once we get that fight lined up, then we'll keep talking because we're going
Yeah.
to get you that
Yes.
belt. We're going to get a couple, and you can use your voice when you get to that platform. You get to use your voice
Absolutely.
to help others out. So, hey, we're
Absolutely.
looking forward to it.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. I really appreciate your time.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. I'll talk to you soon.
Cool. Bye.
Thank you.